right. I'll give you a few seconds just for the algorithm to go ahead and catch up and notify you that I am going live in 5, 4, 3. All right. Hey, what's up, Bootstrappers? This is Ryan Nickel coming at you with just a quick little tip. So I just ran into my first issue with a title company having issue with my assignment fees. Now, mind you, this is a title company that I've done a lot of transaction and a lot of business with over the past year and a half or so. And last year we did several transactions. However, my assignment fees were all under $10,000. Not that there's any kind of like magical threshold as far as what an assignment fee should be, but anyway. When she saw the assignment of contract that there was a $20,000 assignment, she was bothered by it. This is the agent that I've used for a number of transactions, like I said. And she just like asked me, she's like, "Are you a real estate agent? Are you licensed?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." "Is there an issue?" She's like, "Well, our legal department has issue with these types of transactions where you're just getting an assignment fee and you're not, a licensed individual or anything like that." And I'm like, "Okay, well, let me know if there's any problem." She's like, because she goes, well, I've already paid you, in excess of this throughout last year. And I said, yeah, so if you have any problem with it, just let me know. And we'll figure that out at that point. So she's like, well, we shouldn't, but if there is, I'll let you know before we even get started. So I anticipate a call from her later today. So what's the solution as you're doing, because more and more title companies are doing this, and it's a policy that the legal department has, because basically you're brokering paper without a license, and that's that can come back to bite them in the butt. It can be some kind of fraud, because it's not you dealing directly with the seller and the seller dealing directly with the buyers. It's middleman. Anyway, whatever the reason is, title companies are choosing not to allow for these assignments to take place anymore. So what do? Well, you can double close it. For those that don't know what a double close is where you actually close it yourself. You go out and you find the money. It's called transactional funding, and you close it, and then you turn around and you sell it again. So you want to get a binder on that title policy so you can save yourself a little bit of money, but you have closing costs, and so you have two sets of closing costs basically, and it eats into your profit. On $20,000, I mean, there's a little bit to be the spread there, but I'm also paying for probate. That was part of the condition of this particular property, so I'm paying for probate out of my proceeds. So again, probate was going to run me about $5,000 on this one. This was a long probate process. So with that's one way to do it, is to do probate. A second way to do it is to just, instead of having an assignment fee, just go ahead and go back to the seller of the property and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to have an issue here with my assignment, and now I have to disclose to my seller that I'm making $20,000 on this property, because this particular deal, the house is owned outright, free and clear. He has a Medi-Cal claim from his mother for the deceased estate of $65,000, and I'm in contract for $85,000. So, he's walking away with $20,000, ish, and then and I'm on top of it, going on and taking another 20. So I'll have to go back to him and say, hey, can we do a consulting agreement? And basically, the consulting agreement is still, you're going to get your price at. No, actually, I have to go back and change the purchase price. So the purchase price would actually be $105 with a consulting agreement of $20,000, and it's just basically a marketing consulting agreement, because there's no laws or restrictions on someone getting paid for marketing, and basically that's what I did. I marketed his property, or I gave him, I consulted him on how to market that property. However you want to look at it, that's one way to get around it. The other way, which is more than likely the way that I would lean towards doing this, and this is the way that I would prefer to do it, is to go ahead and take out a promissory note for the $85,000. And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and have him seller finance the $85,000. Again, I'm going to pay double closing costs here on this property. But actually, no, I wouldn't. I would do everything on my own on this one. Is I would go ahead and take out the promissory note for $85,000, have him deed over the property to me, grant deed it over to me. We'll do that through my, I'm already paying for probate, so I'll have my attorney do that. She'll go ahead and draft it up. He'll deed it over to me. I'll have the promissory note, and then I'll turn around and I'll be the owner, and I will close that property. And that way I'll pay him. I still get the 20 grand because I'll just turn around and sell it to the guy for 105 instead of me signing my contract for $20,000, and I'm in it and I'm out and I show ownership of it. I probably get hit with a little bit of capital gains tax on it, but I'm not worried about 20 grand in capital gains tax. I have enough write-off with all my passive income and my properties that it won't be an issue at all. But anyway, that's one way to get around it. And so anyways, there's 3 ways for you to do this. Straight up just do transactional funding, for you to do a consultant agreement, or for you to go ahead and get on title, and you can work out a joint venture with the guy, partnership. In this case, the property is owned free and clear, and I'll just go ahead and have them seller finance it for me for like a day and a half or whatever, and we'll get that all said and done. So anyway, you're going to run into these issues. It's becoming more and more of a problem with these title companies and their insurance policies, and them wanting to protect themselves. Basically, they want to be able to cut you guys out of the process there. So anyway, I'm Ryan Nickel, and this has just been a quick little tip, little update from Bootstrap Rei. I'll talk to you all later. If you have any issues or questions about it, go ahead and either comment on this thread below, or on the thread where I talked about it before on the straight up in the group. All right, see ya.